If I didn't have any gold or silver and somehow I got it on my horizon that it was something of an option for me, would I buy it right now, given the prices where they are? All-time highs pretty much for gold, huge premiums on silver. Would I buy it? And the answer is yes. But what would I buy? Is it going to be silver or is it going to be gold? We're going to dive deep into what is the best thing to do right now if you have no gold or silver, in my humble opinion. Without giving any kind of FOMO or financial advice, let's dive in and talk about gold and silver. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble where we have a down-to-earth discussion about all things precious and shiny. Now, I don't like FOMO, I don't like fear-mongering when it comes to gold and silver, but if you don't have any gold and silver, you might want to think about getting some. It's a crazy world. The world has changed. Almost it seems it changes on a weekly basis at the moment. But I did a video a few years ago where I titled it, "If I had no gold and silver, this is what I would buy today." And it got over 1 million views, which is incredible. I still can't believe it's had 1 million views, but it's interesting. And I still get a lot of views on it today, and I get a lot of comments on that video today. I wanted to do a bit of an update because the landscape of this whole world for gold and silver has changed dramatically in the last 3 years since I made that video. And I want to do a bit of an update because if you have no gold and silver right now, is now a good time to get some? And if you are going to get some, what kind of gold and silver should you buy? Is it semi-premium stuff like the Odin bars from the Royal Mint? Is it semi-numismatic stuff like beautiful limited edition kookaburras or other semi-numi coins? Is it just as much bullion silver as you can get, whether it be coins or big giant bars? Or is it gold? Is it sovereigns? Is it big gold, small gold, fractional gold? There's a whole host of different questions. So whether you are brand new and looking to buy some of your first bits of gold and silver, or you're a seasoned stacker, because even though I've been in this game 10 years, I still have questions in my mind about when I go and buy gold and silver at the prices we're seeing today. And certainly when you compare it with some of the prices that I've paid in the past, it can be a little bit eye-watering to think about quite how much more expensive it is, and is it a good idea to do? So I will endeavour to share some of my thoughts, experiences, and also some of the feedback that I've heard from new stackers out in the big wide world. I met quite a lot of those kind of people at the World Money Fair. And I can tell you, the sentiment right now is, if you don't have gold and silver, then you really should think about having it. Now, I do want to caveat all of that by putting in a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I am not an investment guru. I am just a guy who likes to talk about shiny things. I believe that gold and silver have a place in my financial portfolio, but that might not be right for you. And I would countenance that by saying that anyone who wants to buy gold and silver right now, whether you are brand new or you've been stacking 10 years, have a good long hard think about other types of investments, running down your debts as well, making sure that you're debt free as best as possible. I get that mortgages are a different animal, but the amount of money that you can save by paying off your mortgage 3, 5, 10 years earlier by overpaying is not to be underestimated. Not financial advice, just sound practical advice. But if you do have some spare money and savings, and you don't want it sitting in a bank languishing away, earning next to nothing compared with inflation, then gold and silver are most assuredly an answer. And that, I think, lies with the main answer to the question of, is it a good time to buy gold and silver? And the answer, in my mind, is unequivocally yes. If you've got yourself to a debt-free position, you've got some savings, you've got some safety net savings as well, which is incredibly important because you never know when the brown stuff is going to hit the fan and you're going to need to have some actual cash, then great. Get on the gold and silver gravy train. You can certainly do at least beating the banks. That's the point here. It's very important to say that from my experiences of buying gold and silver, you're not going to make a quick buck. You're not going to turn around and make 100% in a year's time. That's not how gold and silver works. So do obviously bear that in mind. Now, there are worlds of different types of silver and gold, and there are some big flipping opportunities that you might be enamored by in this fast-paced, stupid world where people go, I have to make a huge turnaround within minutes is certainly something to factor in, but that's a very different game. And if you've got semi-premium stuff like this, it's a risk. You buy it, it's a risk. Now, these are super cool, super lovely, and they come with a bit of a dark side to the community, because even in the queue of people buying these at the World Money Fair, they were putting them on eBay. So I saw some people skipping up to the front of the line, taking a photo of the coin in the display cabinet, sticking it on eBay, and they would have it sold before they even bought it. And that is a thing, because I get it, people want to collect these, they can't always afford to go all the way to Berlin, so they pay a bit of a premium for it. Flipping stuff is unfortunately part of the game. But if you're just stacking for the long term, what should you buy? That's the crux of the video. That's the crux of the video I made last time round, where I'm afraid for all of you beautiful silver bugs out there that think silver is the best thing since sliced bread, it's not, I'm afraid. Or it wasn't back when I made the previous video. Silver comes with its own problems. It comes with storage issues if you're going bulk. It comes with value to weight ratio issues if you're going bulk, if you've got a bigger budget. It comes with portability issues. I've done videos on the shortcomings of silver in the past. It comes with huge premiums in the United Kingdom as well, and those are really the main reasons to avoid silver in the UK if you have to pay at full market rate. I say market rate, full whack from a dealer, from the raw mint, whatever. You're gonna be paying over the odds for silver. However, in that video, I basically said silver is less good than gold and I should go for gold. Have my opinions changed since I made that original video? And the answer would be, I think yes. But it's with a caveat, because if you can get silver at a good price right now, it certainly looks pretty attractive. If you can get past all of the awkwardness that is silver of its weight to value ratio, the awkwardness of posting it because of its weight and value, and the just logistics of owning it, if you've got a large budget and you just want to get a bunch of big silver bars to stack in your safe, or if you can get past things like capital gains tax exemption status and you get stuff that is just a really cheapo bar, super cheap, at spot price or a bit above, then yeah, silver's looking really great. Gold right now is expensive. It is very expensive. It's all-time highs actually, and it will continue to go to all-time highs. And if you're in the UK as well, look at this, 2017, 945. I haven't done the maths on these yet, but I think these are pretty close to £2,100, 2,200 quid, something like that. So that's over doubled. It's incredible. My point here is, though, that silver, I think, has some legs and some room to grow. And we're seeing more and more that value creep up for silver. And not even that long ago, it was about a year ago, Atkinson's, for example, our sponsor, not for this video, but sponsor on the channel in the past, offered 10 silver Britannias at spot price plus the VAT. And that ended up being about 220 quid. So £22 an ounce. Spot price on those right now is 26. So in a year, you can see you've made a lot. Now, if you bought at spot price, £18 an ounce back then, a year and a bit ago, I think it was about a year ago actually we did that first promotion. That's a huge return. Now, gold has done brilliant things in that return period as well, but it's all about what you buy at the beginning, what that entry price is. And unfortunately for silver, that entry price is always higher. It seems to be the popular choice. People go, oh, I can't afford gold. And affordability of gold is a problem. Let's not ignore the fact that big gold right now is expensive. If you want to buy this beautiful Isle of Man quintuple sovereign off me, then you're looking at like £2,750 or £2,800 spot price. It's pretty bonkers, really. I mean, what did I pay? Let's have a look. Where's my little capsule gone? I bought this off a seller on the Silver Forum, 1817 Carl, for £1,770. That's £1,000 profit on this coin in 5 years, 4.5 years. Mad. Mad, mad, mad. So yes, big gold good, but big gold hard to sell. I sound like Planet of Apes. Apes together strong, that's what they say, isn't it? On Wall Street, silver silliness or whatever that is. But it's expensive and it's hard to find a single buyer for that. So I took some steps last year to slim down the big gold in my stack, and I went sovereigns. And sovereigns, and that was the conclusion in my first video, sovereigns are king. Sovereigns are gonna be king for the foreseeable future. And I can actually see sovereigns. These are sovereigns I picked up at the World Money Fair, by the way, and I picked them up below spot price. So you can get really good prices on this gold. And if you're doing a price comparison of premiums, You just can't beat a sovereign right now. Well, no, actually, that's a lie. You can beat premium on a sovereign if you're buying from, say, dealers or second-hand markets, because inevitably somebody will want to sell a Britannia or something like that, and it will have to go at spot or less than spot to sell because people won't want it. But it's the impracticality of it. Sovereigns are super liquid. Now, one of the best things about gold is that liquidity. So when I'm saying to you, if you've got no gold or silver, what should you buy right now? And I say to you, you should buy gold, even though it's at the all-time highs. You've got to factor that in because of the liquidity process here. Now, if you want to go and buy a kilo silver bar, I sold one earlier this week for £870. It was a bit more of a premium item because it was a bit vintage. But if I got a batch of silver bars in right now, I would be asking, I don't know, 20 quid over spot for it on a kilo. So I think spot for a kilo right now is like 835 or something. So I'd be asking 20 quid over spot for them if I was to be selling them through our intermediary service. And that's pretty cheap. That's very, very good indeed. But I see them not sell at that price, or at least take a little bit of time to sell at that price. You've got to factor in the postage costs for them as well. So whether or not you charge extra for the postage and then that increases the price, or whether you offer free postage and you take a bit of a haircut. The liquidity of it isn't that easy. You can sell it, it's not impossible, but if you had to at a pinch go and sell it, you may be looking at a dealer and you're going to get less than spot price for it. Now that's not a massive problem in its own self, but a big silver bar like this is a little bit less practical than a sovereign. Now, in my opinion, what I really do think is the kind of kingpin of the future are going to be even smaller fractionals than a sovereign. So something like a half sovereign. So we've got one half sovereign out here to see, and I do have others, and I will be looking to accumulate other half sovereigns as my year goes on. But I do think fractional stuff is going to be the future. At 260, something like 270 for a half sovereign right now, it's a lot easier to find someone who's got that kind of money to spend than 540 on a sovereign, or 850, 60, 70 on a kilo bar. Certainly a lot easier than finding somebody, where is it, here we go, to spend 2,700 on a single coin. So fractional's the way forwards. But that doesn't always mean that you should buy things like fractional 10th ounce Britannias. Now we did have, as you may have seen, an incredible offering from Atkinson's a few weeks ago where they sold a 10th ounce Britannia. Come on camera, you can do the focusing. There we go, 10th ounce Britannia at spot price. That's not normal for 10th ounce Britannias, by the way, and quarter ounce Britannias. I've got a couple of those out here on the table as well. So that's not normal for fractional Britannias. And I've never really understood why there needs to be a huge premium on these coins. I mean, I get why, because the Royal Mint wants to make a lot of money off you, but they always seem to have more of a premium, whereas sovereigns don't. So they're roughly the same. A sovereign is 0.2354 ounces worth of gold. Of course, a quarter ounce is 0.25. So very similar in that sense. The purity is sometimes an issue for some people. People always go, oh, the purest pure gold is the only gold for me. Makes absolutely no difference. And if anything, a sovereign is way more liquid than a quarter ounce gold, certainly if you're trying to get the premium back out of it that you put in. And a 10th ounce equally so, comparable with the 10th ounce to a half sovereign in terms of value. And I can't really see why you would pay the premium for quarter ounce and 10th ounce gold. Now, if a deal comes along like Atkinson's where you get it for spot price, or you can see it on secondary markets for spot price or touch above, something comparable to a sovereign, then buy it all day long. Buy it all day long. But don't buy new quarter ounce, 10th ounce gold. That's just going to be a waste of premium at the end of the day. And then you're in the same category as silver. And you might as well just buy silver, in my opinion, because there's more potential upside that could come from owning the silver, basically, I think is my general mantra and metric there. So I'm going to do a conclusion now for you, because for those who've been watching, thank you, and to the Cool Kids Club members to watch to the end, you guys rock, and I know, well, we need something for you to tell me how cool you actually are, and I don't think I've got any serial numbers on those coins. It's going to have to be the Horias bar, which we've probably done before, F84516. You know what to do if you're in the Cool Kids Club. Mention that in the comments and I'll know that you're cool. But the conclusion here is that if I had no gold or silver right now, I would want to buy. I would look, if I was aware of the world, of gold and silver, that is. I mean, it can be very difficult. It's like the Matrix sometimes, opening up people's eyes to the crap that's going on in the world right now and why it's good to have gold and silver, something physical, real, outside of that monetary system, which is also bad. I mean, you just got to look at the bloody Barclays banking issues here in the United Kingdom last week, where people couldn't get access to their money, couldn't pay their bills, couldn't pay the tax man. That was hilarious. So very, very silly. So anyway, conclusion time. Sorry, I'm rambling. Right. If I had no gold and silver right now and I was buying, I would buy gold because it's more liquid, it's more flexible, it's often cheaper on the entry point. If you were able to get silver at spot price, though, I would strongly consider getting some silver at spot price. I haven't even really touched on the capital gains elements of this, so I will just very briefly talk about capital gains. Am I massively worried about capital gains taxes on non-CGT stuff? Yes, to a degree. I would stick mainly to CGT coins like Britannia's if you were going to buy silver. It's worth paying a little bit more of a premium on them, but not a lot. The argument here is if you're paying £30 an ounce for your Britannia's and you're going to sell them, and your exit plan is to sell them to a dealer and you get maybe £1 over spot, something like that. You've got a swing there to factor in. If you're buying silver at complete spot price or just above on big kilo bars, yeah, you might have to pay a bit of CGT on it, but you can liquidate and get that profit sooner. Now, if you have a happy medium of both types of assets, then in a given year, and if you've got a partner, wife, husband, you can use your allowances to sell up to £6,000 worth of profits, not just raw material value, profits, CGT free. So I'm not massively worried about CGT. I have never really been worried about it. I'm a little bit more concerned now that you see the allowances have come down a lot. That's a definite thing to be concerned about. Whether the allowances will disappear entirely is another question as well. But it's not something that I would lose loads of sleep over if I were you. So there's a balance to be had. So if I was brand new to gold and silver, would I buy? Yes, I'd buy gold. I'd buy gold as cheap as possible. I'd buy silver as cheap as possible. I'd stack it and I'd put it in a drawer and I'd forget about it for 20 years. That's kind of the conclusion. And I think that's pretty much sums up the video for today. I've been rambling on long enough. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you are still watching to this back end part, I can't even speak, partian, what was I even saying? Anyway, if you know what I'm even trying to say, then please let me know. I'm sorry, I'm having a bit of a brain moment there. Back end, I don't even know what I was saying. If you're watching now, who knows, but thank you. We'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.